Okay, welcome to the wolf trapping controversy. Any video on wolf trapping or wolf hunting always creates controversy. You love it or you hate it. There doesn't seem to be a lot of in-betweens, but anyways, today I'm on my long line. I call it the long line. It's all the same trap line, but I've got two kind of specific areas that I trap. Just looking at stuff here. I see some bait that's been drug over there. Just curious because I didn't put it there. Today I'm going to pull, I pulled my short line a couple weeks ago, I guess, and got two wolves on it, which I haven't shown yet, so those will be on this video. So we're approaching the end of March, and the season, wolf trapping season, is actually open until the end of May. So I can trap till the end of May, but and you can actually hunt wolves until the end of June. The only time they're closed is in July for hunting. But I just find it's not worth it. One, the hides are terrible, and the bears are out. So it's not worth it, and you really can't utilize the hides much from this point on. So I always kind of wait till spring break and then pull, but I tend to always get a few right around spring break. Okay, it's getting really warm out. Bears are coming out, so I think it's time to start carrying this spray. I'm actually just pulling a bunch of snares now. It's still open, but with this warm weather, it's going to not much point. So I'm just deactivating snares. One in here. Okay, we got 3 snares back in here, and I haven't had much. Oh, dang! Well, there we go. We got one. It's not looking great, but we'll take it. Okay, it's the hide's pretty mangy, so the hide's not great. Big one. We'll get it out of here and utilize what we can. Awesome. Another mangy wolf. Good to get them out of the pack. Unfortunately, their hides are generally no good. Might be able to utilize parts of the fur. Oh shit. Wolf number 2. Dang. Birds went to town on that one bad. Dang it. Nice black one. This was a young one. Small. Nice coloring. Again, the hides not great, but the birds got to it on one side. And I think we can salvage a little bit of this. Is that number 8 for this season? Okay, well, get this out of here. And got a couple other bait sites to check. Dumping a bit more bait, but we'll be pulling the snares most likely on all of them. But I'll just dump the bait anyways. Something will eat it. Feeding the critters. Okay, so we got a snare just right in here. Caught coyotes in here before. It's kind of a natural trail through there, but there's also a trail over here, which this year I've had them come through here. But this is a natural spot that they do. I had one walk through. Some people said it stepped through it, but I find that less likely as to maybe having its head down and going under it. But get this one pulled. Okay, and we've got another one. Again, just hanging on here. Everything's melted out, so things have changed a little bit, but A lot of these I just have as free hanging, which means they'll drop very fast if something goes through them or bumps them. I'll leave my snares out in the same spot, so I've got a nice trail right through here. So I deactivate them and hang them in the trees, which I know some of you out there are going to tell me that's not a good idea, but I know lots of trappers that do it. An old trapper that worked this area before, that's what he did. It leaves, you know, the scent in the air, like they're in the trees, so you're not pulling in any extra scent. None of mine have rusted out. Hopefully they get used and triggered soon enough that they don't rust out. Now, been hearing some birds back here. I do have one snare back here, which just kind of curious, although I don't see anything. Do I? Oh yeah, no, there's my snare there. So many spots in here. Here's a pretty good game trail through here. So one of the reasons I leave my snares out, I generally set up the exact same spots every time, and it just makes it a lot faster when you already have them attached to the tree or even just in the area, so you're not packing all these snares around. So I can just quickly come in, set up an area. Like I said, I don't have a whole lot in any one particular area, so it's pretty easy to remember. I use the same spots over and over again. I've got one right in there. That one's on a wire, and then another one just over here off that birch tree, so I'll get those pulled. Because I use the same spots year after year, and then I just add a few here and there. It's pretty easy to remember where they all are. So what have I learned of wolf trapping? Well, it's unpredictable, I can tell you that. I set up snares where I think it's going to be golden. I've got a snare right in here. It's pretty small. Got a coyote in here twice. No wolves on this one. And it's pretty open. I mean, there's a pretty good little trail through there, but it's you know, it's not brushed in or anything. Got another snare in here, and which I'll go pull that one. That's a pretty good trail. Again, I expected to get something there, but never have. And then I've got a snare here, which is kind of knocked over a little bit. That one I've got something in there and it chewed out. I've actually, I think the very first time I caught something was there, and it chewed out as well. So I didn't actually get it. But this has been a good spot. So what else have I learned? Well, I learned to never go out trapping. This has nothing to do with the wolf trapping, but never go out trapping without pacer. And now this time of the year, some bear spray. I was attacked by a bear twice, actually, same time. That's for another story. But anyways, pacer got the bear off of me twice. I didn't have bear spray at the time, but I'll share that story on another video. I mean, you can Google it. Pacer, dog saves, runner. I was out running. You can Google it. There's tons of stories out there on the net. Some accurate, some not so much. But I'll share that story another time. This is another spot right through there that I've always expected to catch something, and I've never got anything in this area. The snares dropped down too low now. I've had lots of small critters go through there, rabbits and whatnot, but I've yet to get a wolf or a coyote travel through there. Again, that's one of the spots that as soon as you look at it, you're like, oh yeah, that's definitely going to get you something, but it doesn't. I even drug a moose carcass up here that was dropped from roadkill. That's what was left of it. Drug it up here and just tied it up, but nothing's come through. And then another really good spot, this one connected, that's right off of this tree here. So that was one of the first ones I set up, and didn't connect this year, but it's connected in the past a couple times, so that's a good one. So I've learned wolves are, not only are they smart, but they are unpredictable. Never really a rhyme or reason to what they do, from what I can tell. I've caught some where I just have like one single snare out randomly, not even around bait. And I've caught 2 wolves on this one snare the last 2 years. One this year, one of the black wolves I caught with the kids, and another one the year before. So again, just completely random. Trails just, it's not a really obvious trail, but sort of a trail, I guess, and yeah, they just go through there. So this is one of the first spots I started snaring wolves. I have had some success. Got a coyote in here earlier this year. We got the coyote right under there. And this is why I like when people leave comments, because my very first snare I set up was right where this dead pine tree is. And the snare is still here. Well, I keep setting here. And the comment was, you'll never catch one there because that's just way too obvious. They'll see that from a mile away. Later that season, within a month, I got one there. Matter of fact, I got 2 in this one. I haven't got any in here this year, but this is one of those spots where, to me, it actually doesn't look obvious. A lot of times the wolves are coming through at night, and so I don't think they see the snare. We've got another one right in here. So I'm not sure. You camouflage them, but I have some snares that are just hanging. For example, I'll have a snare. I don't have one, but like right off of this tree, I'll have a snare in the spot like that. No real pinch points, just right off a tree. And that's actually, I got one this year off of a spot like that. One of the black wolves as well. And it's one that I've caught off of that tree, I think 2 or 3 times. And to me, it's wide open. There's like nothing around it, so you just never know. So snaring's really just, it's about numbers, obviously. Number of snares that you have out. Location is important. Bait is important, to have some kind of bait fairly close by. But a ton of it is just sheer luck, randomness. Right? You just have no idea. I mean, these wolves. So you take a look in here. There's lots of places. So I've got one just off of that tree right there, and I actually had a wolf go underneath this one. There's no way it walked through it. It would have knocked it off if it did. So the wolf was there, but just didn't get its nose in there. So I never got that one. I mean, there's been lots coming through your pacer sniffing like crazy, and he just took a dump over there, so that means that he's remarking territory. I got 2 coyotes in here. That's why it's all torn up there. And then, not this year, last year. And then another snare right through there. which again looks like a super obvious. Actually, this is the one. I had a wolf walk up this way, right to there. Must have smelled the snare, or saw the snare, and then came out this way. So in that scenario, it did see it. And I'm not surprised, because I've actually watched Pacer. I think he goes under snares because he sees them. Because he'll walk up, and I've watched him now. I pay closer attention to him, and he actually ducks underneath it deliberately. So even when he's not sniffing, he'll just duck down and go under the snare. But so whether they smell it or whether they see it in the daytime, but they come through here at night, and they're gonna walk right through that. This is Pacer into you. What do you got there, buddy? Pacer, chewing on something? Got some old bait of some sort. Well, most people hate wolf trapping and hunting, but generally because they don't understand it. They're not really educated on the area that we're in. For this area, we have so many wolves, and like, I've definitely noticed the number of moose seems to be a lot lower, just the amount that we see. We spent 2.5 months hunting out here with a limited entry draw, which what that means, it was for a bull. They only give out a certain number, and you have a short time frame to hunt in. We didn't even see a single one. Saw a couple kills that other people had got, where they had gutted them or whatever on or close to the road. But yeah, we saw nothing in 2.5 months. And I'm out here daily. Actually, I saw one. I'm out here daily with students, and I saw one run across the road. Didn't have my rifle. Nice bull, but that was it. So our moose population is definitely down, deer population in this area. That's not scientific, but like I said, I'm out here daily, and just comparing it to other years, it's definitely lower. And there's no shortage of wolves out here. This year I've caught 8 already. I'm thinking I might get 1 today. I've still got my main bait site to check out, which I loaded my last of my bait up there a couple weeks ago, so there might be something. But I think each year before that has been 6 or 7 wolves. This year was 8, and I had about half the number of snares out this year. And a friend of mine is also hunting. He's got a bait station actually on my Trapline where he sets up blinds and hunts, and he's got pictures from a game cam of 8 in one of the packs. I may have taken a couple out of that pack, but it's healthy. So this is a good example of complete kind of randomness. Last year I had 2 wolf snares in here, only 2. Just kind of on 2 what I thought were sort of trails, and got 2 wolves. Got a double. Both walked down a different trail at the same time, and got 2 in there. So and then this year there was that one video I had, the wolf walking up to this snare right here, and then it veered off. So again, it either saw it or smelt it. And that's it. I haven't had any wolves in this area come through here. I've got the bait kind of behind me, and they may have been in there a little bit, but they've never walked this far back. So yeah, just one of those things. Maybe there's too much scent in here, who knows? But that's the randomness I'm talking about. Well, there's some old wolf scat. It's in the ice. Okay, so if I'm going to get a wolf, it's going to be in this location. This is where I dumped lots of fresh bait a few weeks ago. And well, it's the last of my area to check. So I'm gonna snare right through this trail here, which I've never had anything come through there, but again, it looks obvious. Bunch of old scraps back here. Check these snares, and then I've got some scraps. There's some old bait. Carcass, something I skinned out and brought in here. So anything that I harvest, once we skin it out, I bring the carcass and whatever back out onto the trap line. So I've got a few things that I've skinned that I'm gonna dump here after. But we'll just go through and pull our snares first. Snare right in here. So I have marked a few, but this one's easy to remember because it's just on my trail that I always walk. I had another commenter tell me I was irresponsible for not marking my snares locations, but so that one I actually had. So often what I'll do, I've got most of them on GPS, but I walk the same trail over and over and over, and so I've got all my snares located. But every once in a while when I hang something new, unless it's close to another snare, then I'll mark it. But like this location here coming up is the spot where I said was my new favorite snare site, and I didn't mark any of these snares because I was walking in here and I had one snare under here which I pulled because I got a wolf. One of the last wolves I got was actually right in there. I really like that trail, and it connected right away. That's a good example of a free hanging snare. So I wanted to snare back in there, so I pulled that one from underneath the tree there and moved it over here. But so I didn't mark any of these. I've got 1, 2 over there and then 3 up there. So I didn't bother marking these because, again, it's right off my main trail that I walk all the time, and they're all close together, so they're easy to find. So there's not really any need to mark them. There's some old coyote scat. I actually got a wolf right where Pacer is. You can see the rub marks on the tree here. I had a snare going right across there. That's another one that I had a leaner going across. I got that wolf last year, I think it was, and just had a leaner going across, but kind of a main trail, not really disguised. Went through it. One of the ones, we got a double up here this year with the 2 kids, and it was right here. It's fallen over. So this was one where I just had this leaner and the snare's fallen over. This is just a main trail. Again, it's pretty open, so you would think that they would see that easily, which I'm sure they can during the day. Snare would have been up there, but went through. Not only did it go through, but one just farther over went through as well. We got 2 that day. The leaner, one of the things with the leaner, what they help with is for the moose and the deer. So if you just had a snare hanging off of this tree, moose and deer, they'll just knock it over. Hopefully they don't step through. So if you put a leaner like that, it just, any bigger animals more likely to step over that, or knock it over when the snare is on it. So it just knocks the snare over. So they're not going through it. But this is, again, another spot that I'll just keep setting year after year. So Ian and I saw this earlier this year, but there was all this, it almost looks like moose hair Couldn't quite figure out, and because there was snow on the ground, there's this big clump. I thought maybe something dug something up, or maybe something drug something up here from down where we have bait.
Oh no, that's something you dragged out.
No, it's not.
Oh.
I don't know what it is. Something just digging?
Deer or moose fur. Here's a big clump of it.
It's, is it?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Like 100%, that's what that is.
It's like a nest, though.
There's red twine in there. You're dead right. It's a nest.
That nest right up there.
Yeah. You're dead right. You can see it pretty well from right here.
Okay, yeah. It just fell.
I mean, yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, that almost looks like it's been torn up. It's scattered way out along the branches.
Yeah, so some critter went up there and went after it.
Yeah.
Interesting. But it turns out it was a nest of some sort. There was a nest up there that must have got knocked over from the wind, or something happened anyways to knock it out. But here's another good trail. There's a snare right through there. Never connected on this one, but I've had lots of critters walk along this ridge. We've got bait down in there, so they walk this ridge. So this is one I'll set up every year. It's just a matter of time. And a couple more in here. I've had no luck on these ones. I've had traffic come through here in the past. Again, there's some bait down in there. It's a good ridge that they just walk around. And there's another leaner there with a snare on it. That's where, when we got the two up here, that's where I got the second one. And I've got one there the previous year as well. Okay, another one on this side of the tree. I had one on the other side of the tree. And I put a little leaner in there. That leaner's dropped a bit because I've got that snare on a wire as well. So that leaner should have been up a little bit higher, but with the snow melt, things move around. So, okay, so I just pulled the last of the snares in this area. That's where I thought I might have something, but nothing. And there's nothing. The snow, what snow there is here is pretty hard packed, so you can't see any tracks or anything, even if something was to come in, but you never know. So I've got a couple more sort of random snares placed around some other traps. The traps have been pulled. Some Wolverine and lynx cubbies that have been pulled for quite a while now, but I always set up the odd snare just around them, just because they'll come in and check things out. So we'll go pull those, but I haven't had anything in any of those this year, so I don't expect anything to be in there today, but that's what makes things completely unexpected out here. This is where we're kind of wrapping, pulling snares, wrapping it up. Got our lynx cubby back here has been pulled. I think the last thing we got in here was a marten. Got a Wolverine in here last year. There's still some bait. It's interesting, but yeah, I had wolves come through here once, so I just threw up again, completely random. There's a leaner there with a snare on it, and another leaner in here with a snare on it that's a little bit wonky now. But they never really came back. I had coyotes come in. I've got a coyote snare back there, which I'll go pull. But so these are, yeah, some of the things with snaring wolves is definitely a numbers game. Obviously, the more you have out, the better your odds. But you know, you can really try and find main trails and whatnot. But I just find out here, they're so random. They'll come in and they'll be gone for like a month or two. You won't see tracks, you won't see any sign of them, and all of a sudden you come back and it's just loaded with sign. When we were pulling some of our last cubbies, a wolf had come in and just destroyed, well, quite a few wolves. And I'd been in there like daily, almost checking, and then left it for about a week and went back in to pull it, and there's just wolves everywhere, like throughout that spot, and ripped up the cubby and stole the bait, which was fine, but whatever it was,
Made a mess here.
it destroyed. So that's got to be a wolf. Holy cow.
Doesn't seem like moose behavior.
I mean, or a Wolverine. That's not, those aren't Wolverine tracks. Wow. Just.
There's no traps in here.
Yeah, the traps there.
Oh, it's on the other side. It's on the back side. Oh,
yeah. Yeah, set off obviously, but I had a big chunk.
There's the bone.
Of, yeah.
Man, they have gone to town in this whole area.
No kidding. So these are all wolf tracks.
Looks like a bed over here.
And that's major wolf activity. Buggers.
I don't know that I've seen this around just a cubby.
No, I haven't. No.
Do you have any wolf snares in the truck?
I think I do. Without any bait here, I don't imagine they're coming back. I didn't have any snares in there, so it's just always a good idea just to throw a couple up randomly close to cubby sets. So my last few videos and shorts, well, the shorts were just remixes of the videos, but just I've made comments about people leaving negative comments, which don't get me wrong, I love it, because if you're a hater, you're a supporter. If you're gonna watch my videos and leave any kind of comment, even if it's negative, you're supporting the channel, which is awesome. A lot of the comments are humorous, just uneducated, and then I've had lots of positive response to those videos, just to say, hey, don't let these, don't let those comments bother you, or don't worry about it, or you're doing good. Like, let's be clear, they don't bother me whatsoever. But I think I'm just going to start responding to more of these comments on videos. It just adds to the content, makes for some good content and some good discussions. Some of the comments are actually more questions. People that are uneducated, that are looking for, some answers or clarifications. It's really important to know that I'm in Canada, British Columbia, Canada, so every province is different. Like, for example, we cannot bait bears or trap bears. And I believe in Alberta you can do both. You can bait and trap bears. So if I see some kind of video where someone's doing that, and I know in the States there's lots of places you can do that, I'm not going to make some comment like that's illegal, because I actually don't know if it's legal or not where that video's taken place. And I'm going to guess, and it's probably a pretty good educated guess, that if someone is posting something, it's not illegal, which I get people telling me I'm doing illegal stuff, which obviously I'm not, because I'm not posting it. But it would be better in the form of a question instead of a statement of I'm doing something illegal. Anyways, it's all good. I like it. And so yeah, keep adding your comments regardless of how dumb they are sometimes. Okay, so we've wrapped up wolf trapping for the season, which it's the right time. Again, I could go for a couple more months, but there's no point because we got beaver trapping that is open until the end of May. So I don't trap beaver under ice at all. It's just, there's no point. I can trap everything else, and so I'll trap the beaver in the fall, and then once things freeze up, I switch over to lynx and whatnot. But now that everything is pretty much closed, I get right back to beaver and otter trapping. And so here's just a good example. We've trapped, I mean, those sticks up on that cage there, beavers have dammed all that up in the past. Those sticks are from us. We had traps right in the end. You'll see some videos, some of my earlier videos of trapping in there. We pulled out quite a few in here. So I don't know, there's the lodge right there. And the creek goes all the way through back. And just on the other side of those trees is a great big pond with a big dam in there. But it hasn't been active for a few years. So when I first came out here, what, 4 or 5 years ago, this wasn't active either, and then all of a sudden the road was flooded, and so they just come and go. So we trapped, and they're not in that house now, but we'll probably throw some otter traps in here just because it's en route to some of our other areas that we're going to trap, because otters will just travel, and they'll travel through here, they'll travel through those culverts and go up into that pond. They're just fishing and hunting and whatnot. So I'll just have the odd one maybe farther up. I don't like to have any traps close to the road because people do steal them. Unfortunately, it happens. Okay, we're gonna wrap this up. I never really have a plan for videos. I just make them, and I just record stuff and then just kind of throw it together for a video. I never have a real start and end plan. This one was about wrapping up the wolf season and moving into the beaver trapping season. So all my snares are pulled. That's it. It's over. And my next videos coming up will be about beaver and otter trapping and getting the kids out again. We'll change our focus, and we'll be doing that for the next, close 2 months, I guess, April and May. And then that'll be it for the trapping season for me. We'll be wrapping things up completely. So we still actually have lots to go. Just want to thank you for watching and supporting the channel, and leave the comments. Again, good or bad, leave them. You're all supporters one way or another, whether you like it or not. And so, yeah, I appreciate it.